What's happening, everybody? Matt here, but you can call me Mattelvin. Welcome back to Hottest Take of the Week, a show where I look at dumb stuff on the internet and I talk about it. This week, I actually have some catching up to do. I had a great video going for you last week, and it turns out that you should not use a hard drive from 2009 as your long-term media storage. Whoops! But I gotta ask you a question. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Sorry, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. And today, as of recording, it is Thursday, September 21st. Last week was full of all kinds of hot takes, mostly to do with TJ Watt. And that will definitely be your hindsight take of the week. After TJ Watt left his most recent game nursing a groin injury, we got to see Kevin King, the guy that we passed on TJ Watt for. And how did Kevin King do? He had 32 coverage snaps and did not allow a single catch. Hindsight take of the week right there. Look, you can't judge a draft trade after 2 weeks. It's not possible. Look, I can be all high and mighty and say, oh, Kevin King had a great game. Because he did. And you know what? In week 1, TJ Watt had a great game and Kevin King played 6 snaps. You have to let it play out. You can't just say, okay, well, Ted passed on TJ Watt. It's a terrible trade. No. And we also haven't even seen Beagle yet. When he comes back from his foot injury, then we can have a little bit more information to base it off of. So for our first hot take this week, let's take it over to Bomani Jones, who actually said that Mike Daniels was being talked about like he was Deacon Jones. Like he's good, but he's not that good. Okay, Bomani, I think after the Falcons game, we saw what happens when you don't have Mike Daniels. Mike Daniels is far and away the best defender on the Packers team, probably the most important. We saw a lot of runs up the middle that most likely would not have happened had we had Mike Daniels in. No, he's not Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones is probably the best defensive end of all time. Oh, is that a hot take? It probably is. Deacon Jones changed the game. Mike Daniels did not reinvent the defensive end position. That's true. However, he's incredibly important to the Packers defense. Not only does he bring his game-changing ability, he brings the teeth. He is the attitude, the toughness. No Mike Daniels, no toughness. So this week, there were a lot of hot takes, but they all revolved around one subject. What is that? The Packers lost. We have to tank the season. Seriously, Packers are now 1-1. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons. But let's go over that a little bit. There were some ticky-tacky calls that could have easily been let's just say a 2-score difference. The Martellus Bennett offensive pass interference that was not only within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, but happened to be that the defender ran into Marty. I'm still a little upset if you saw my GIF recap. You saw my slow descent into madness the more I thought about it. And that's also to talk about the fumble, not a fumble. According to the rules, if a player is attempting a forward pass and they are hit by a defender, then no matter what direction the ball goes, that's considered a forward pass and it's free from intentional grounding. It's in the rules. That fumble was picked up and taken in for 6. So that's a 14-point swing right there, and the Packers lost by 11. Let's say Rodgers doesn't throw that interception after the OPI on Bennett and the drive stalls. No big deal. They chew up the rest of the clock, and that's it. Let's say that forward pass isn't taken for 6, and the Packers have to punt. Maybe they hold Atlanta to 3. So that's an 10-point swing. I can't do math. It's a 10-point swing. Packers lost by 11. If the Packers lost by 1 point, would everyone be talking about tanking the season and how this team is terrible and that everything is the same and fire Capers and McCarthy's an idiot and blah, 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 blah? Look, the hottest take of the week has to go to every single Packer fan that's talking about tanking the season. The season's over. This is terrible. After one loss, it's been 2 weeks. The Packers just played the defending NFC champs at home the day they opened their brand new stadium. Come on. Seriously? That's a 4. You get a Donald Driver smiling. Okay, Packer fans. Hopefully, I didn't offend you too bad. And hopefully, when the Packers take on the Bengals at home next week, it will be the massacre it should be. Tell you what? If the Bengals drop a 40-burger on the Packers in Lambeau, then we'll talk about tanking the season, okay? All right, guys. That'll do it for me. As always, I'm Matt, but you can call me Matub, and go Pack Go.